It's Anita and Dario's show. I'm Anita.
And I am Dario.
You can be Anita for the day.
I guess I'm Anita today. I'm proud to be Anita.
So today we're going to talk about one of the Mediterranean principles, talking about connection, and we're going to give you 3 tips at the end. And yeah, that's basically what we're going to talk about the show today.
Connection.
Connection is so important. And the reason why we started our business.
Yeah.
It really is the primal reason why we started our business. So do you mind me talking about it a bit first?
No, please do. Please do, because it's important. It's actually extremely important, and people hear that.
Yeah. So we found each other later in life as a midlife couple.
And knew each other probably for 10, 20 years before that.
Yeah, I think it was 18 years before that.
Yeah.
So kind of neat story. That's for another time. But we ended up finding each other, and we wanted to do our best to make sure that we were respectful to each other. We were grateful for each other. We took the time for each other, and it was very, very important for us.
Right.
And as time went on, we got busier and busier in our lives. We get caught up in the everyday, the have-tos, right? We got caught up in the everyday. And Dario, being a chef, he was off doing his chef thing. Me as a speaker, I was off doing my speaking. I was in India that year. And
you were everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we were finding that we were getting busy and not doing what we were saying. So Dario was hired as a guest chef in a castle in Italy. And during that time, we were traveling throughout Europe. And during that time, Dario was, of course, everyone was enthralled with him, the Italian chef, asking all this stuff. And then after a couple glasses of wine, of course, everyone is at the table and they're all entrepreneurs and they're talking about being so stressed out. And that's what I do. I'm a rich life strategist. So I work with entrepreneurs and executives about work-life balance, about success in their life, creating that. So I sat down with them and I worked on the things that I do. And at the end of it, Dario and I looked at each other and went, wow, we have something that's a bit different than other people. We need to find a way to create a business around this and something that has resonated with us. Hence, the Mediterranean lifestyle came up, me researching people in Italy to understand, why are people happier there? Why are they less stressed? They have more purpose. They get together more. Why is that? And what are those things that they're doing? And so we came up with our business with Oh Live Your Life. Originally, it was Pasha's Cooking, but reconnecting again. And our first start was reconnecting in the kitchen.
Yes.
And figuring out that dynamics in the kitchen, because to me, it was huge for us to be able to cook together, finding a way to do that, cook healthy meals, take that time, because of course you get home from work, it's busy, one person's rushing, slopping something together, and you're not putting those tunes up. I set up a cutting board, Daria has a cutting board, we kind of like move in the kitchen, we create our meals, and we have a lot of fun with it. So connection to us was so important, and hence why today's talking about a connection, and it's one of the principles to the Mediterranean lifestyle.
And it's amazing because you really hit it now. It all started as a kind of I wanted to say a fluke, because it was a fluke. Because I remember, this friend of mine said, we are up in this castle in northern part of Italy.
Yeah.
We would like you to come as a guest chef. And we, at that time, we were in the south of France. Think about connection, eh? And we had just finished, and we wanted just the two of us to connect. We were there. We wanted to just relax. And Anita said, well, why don't we just do it? And that connection potential that we thought we took it away from ourselves created an even bigger connection. Just connecting with those people up in, and really think, how could we serving people in a different way?
It's getting out of your comfort zone, because there's so many times you get home, it's a late day, you don't want to put the effort into it. You don't want to, you figure you're too tired. You don't have the energy to do it. And that's the great thing about the Mediterranean lifestyle. Right. It works on all those other areas by eating properly, by making that initiative to connect more, which is what we did that day. We we're looking at just having that time together. But you know what? We could squeeze that in and do what we
Yeah.
did. And we're glad we did, because it opened up a whole new thought process for us and a mindset.
And the thing is, oh, we don't have the time. Oh, you do have the time. Trust me, if you want to, time is always there. It means more than you even think. So, so
And
one of the first thing we talk about is it's taking away when you want to connect.
so one of the first tips.
One of the first
Okay, the tip number one. We're on tip number one.
When you want to really connect with someone, take distraction away. Distraction number one is the beast of the century, your cell phone. How many times you found yourself, you are somewhere and you always have that square rectangular thing always attached to your hands. You know, sometimes I see kids that cannot move around. They only have one hand because the other hand is always busy. That becomes the wrong tool to use. You know, it's important to have a phone. I have nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But really separate the time. During one of our things about the International Dinner Club, there is one thing. You come in, you put that phone away.
You get a box
and you put it
and
away.
you put your phone in.
And that is, but here's something that we discovered. It was actually came out of the news, and it was such an interesting topic. There is a restaurant in Italy that for every single guest that goes to the restaurant and will not use their phone whatsoever, but it will spend the time to connect with whomever they're at the table and really focus on enjoying their experience, they will offer them a bottle of wine. What kind of encouragement is that? We want to give you something because we really want to make sure that you really enjoy that moment. That is so fundamental. What is the biggest fear when you get to a new country? Instead to just enjoy it, what is the Wi-Fi?
So true.
How is it?
Yeah.
Instead to just really feel and the fresh air, the moments, the simple thing. I thought was very amazing about this restaurant saying, you know what? We want you to connect. You're going to come here. You can use your phone. You're not going to get a bottle of wine. But we want to discourage people to come to the restaurant and be on their phone.
I think that's a great idea.
So
I think more people need to be doing that. Put the phone away. And it's interesting, just getting onto that, and then I'll get into tip two. So in 2019, we did an ABC episode. It was First Coast News or First Coast, and where they actually interviewed me, but then they brought Dario over to do the cooking at the other end. And so we talked about alone together. So this is before COVID. And we talked about how we have people in our International Dinner Club for the dinner parties to put our phones away. You know, there's always well, then we need to take a picture of our food. Oh, we need to, and it's something that comes to people's mind. Go, no, put it away. Enjoy the company. We have tips on the different countries you can talk about, but we talked about this in 2019 already about alone together. And that's what happens is you're sitting at a dinner table, as Dario talked about, and you're both on the phone. We've seen it. We've seen it at restaurants. There's been times where we've been busy and all of a sudden we pick up the phone quickly and go, no, put it away. When you get home after a long day, and our days are not cut off at 5 o'clock anymore because we're dealing with global now. Global people are in different time zones. Oh, I got to answer this message. You got to cut it off and have that time together. It's so important to connect. So phone and number one is such an important thing because we don't want to be alone together. We want to be together.
That's right.
Having fun and doing great things. So tip number two is really important, and that is time blocking. And I talk about this with all my executives and entrepreneurs in my business. And it's so important to set time aside, to time block, and then nothing else is in the way. It used to be popular to multitask. I can juggle this and I can juggle that and I can juggle this. Well, studies show that you actually do not accomplish that task as well. And the same is when you're connected together.
That's right.
When your spouse or your child or your friend sees you look at that phone
Right.
or pick up that phone, they're not going to be happy at all. So it's important to set that time aside so you're totally connected with what they're doing, totally enthralled with what they're talking about, as opposed to your mind being off into different areas. With us, we do that when we do the kitchen. We're in the kitchen cooking. We make sure we block off that time. When we have times with our coffee in the morning, we block off that time. When we take our walks, we block off that time. And it's so important to time block for those things so that you're giving
100%.
the time together with that person that you want to connect with 100% of their time. So number three,
It's so powerful what you just said. That if people really spend time just to pay attention to it, how much important is your time? How much important is your life, really? To really engage into 110%, not just 70% or 80%, just really.
And the other person will notice it too.
100%. Your kids will notice.
If all of a sudden you're glancing at your phone and, oh yeah, I'm giving you attention, or you're off thinking about something else, or whatever it might be, it's really devoting that time to have that full connection. Right. So number three
is reconnecting with friends that you probably haven't seen in a long time. Go back. Oh, it's so busy. Oh my goodness. Just pick up the time. One thing I actually learned very much from you, because you're very good at that. Anita would just, she thinks about someone, and she just picks up the phone. Reconnect with people, family, friends that you haven't seen in a long time. It's so important. You're creating that feeling of the enjoyment of memories of wonderful things. I'm still here and you are still there, and we still are friends. We still a brother or sister that we want to spend with them. That are so important. The time you spend with the people that matters to you. We're spending a lot of time, sometimes with people that suck a lot of energy out of us.
Negative people.
Let's try to bring in some good energy into us. Maybe someone is going through some rough time and you haven't talked to them in a long time. And maybe you could be that phone call of that person, that conversation, and really inspire them. What I love about it, that is this person that, friend and had for a long time, then, never been married and just been by themselves. And she always, no matter what, makes the time to have the conversation, no matter what. And at that time makes everyone feel good, feel reconnected, spend the time together, give value to yourself and to someone else. And if you really look at it,
time is our most important resource.
But if you really think about these 3 steps that we just talked about, you're putting away confusion or distraction. You're making time, block time for really connecting. And then the third one is you go back and you really reconnect with the people that you haven't seen in a long time.
Everything, very good.
Everything is in synergy. Really is in synergy. And no matter what, people change. So be it. But you want to really make sure that whatever you do is done with purpose and with sincerity. So, I always go back to a story of this older gentleman in Italy, and then his daughter kept saying to him, "Oh, come on, Dad, I keep calling you all the time." "I'm here." And she said, "But why don't you take your phone with you? Because I don't need it." It's noisy. If I go to the fields, I'm on the fields. I just want to enjoy the fields. I don't want to buzzing or hear all that. If you want to come and see me, just walk 100 steps and there I am. Why do I need to carry that thing? We feel, and we all do, I mean, we sometimes are guilty too, because
Yeah.
sometimes it's just our business, right? Then we need to find out the last thing, find out the last email. Oh, there is just one, there is never one more email, because it becomes more and more and more.
It's funny, technology's gotten better to connect us,
Yeah.
but we've become connected superficially.
Exactly. Oh, yes.
We've become connected superficially, and it's not really connected together. I mean, I've heard of people that break up marriages through a text or a thing, and you're just like, what? Like the value of the connection is not as important anymore, because now we have so many friends and there's so many connections, but it's not a genuine connection. And that's what's so important. And I think that's a great thing you mentioned, because, in that case, that person, it's like showing up at the house and come and visit, coming over and see the person. I mean, that kind of thing is so important. And we've lost that. We talk about it so much, but actually taking that time to be there for that person that means so much, and those people that are in your life, or those friends that are like-minded, that love food and travel, like with our community. I mean, it's so important to have that connection, to have those fun things that are important out there. And just one other thing I wanted to add was, we've traveled around the world, and we've seen the differences in the countries and the continents, and how people do things differently. Yeah. And it's miraculous. It's unbelievable when you just see people that just show up on their doorstep and hang out and do things for each other, and they don't have a calendar that they're trying to organize, and they're like, of course, come over for dinner, we'll just throw something together, as opposed to, oh no, we have to have everything organized and done before we meet so and so, or do this, and the relaxing part of just being with people, as opposed to making it this in your mind. You end up making into this, oh my gosh, it has to be perfect, it has to be done like this. People don't care. It's about that genuine connection, and it has been lost. In marriages, it's been lost. People just do the next bucket of rocks, and they just get together and they do the have tos. No, we got to make sure we look good to somebody else, and it's not really important. It's important to what you're doing with those people you care about. It's about enjoying life and having fun, because we don't want to live with regret. And we're constantly coming up with ideas and fun things to do. We're going to take up sailing next. Yeah. Well, we've done sailing before, but around the world, people have done different things, and they have connected. And then we see people that barely get out of the house, that don't call people. You can see the solemnness on their face. Right. They're just not connected. And what happens, we're not meant as human beings to be like that. We are not. And it's affecting the mental health of people. You need to be connected. You need to talk. You need to touch. And social media and the phone has done those kind of things, and we need to get back to that genuine connection.
It is. And there is a very good friend of ours in Italy, Giovanni, and so he has, and he had even bigger transportation company, buses, rental cars, all this stuff, big businesses, very successful. And guess what? There were 3 desks in his offices, one for his sister, one for his daughter, and his. Guess what was on his desk? Not a laptop, not a computer, nothing. He said, Dario, my computer is this and this. Piece of paper and a pen, because people don't even know to write anymore, because now we are typing, right? And really, I talk to people. I pick up the phone, I talk to them. I don't have to send them an email. Now,
even getting together is the next step. It's so important.
His sister and the daughter that do all that. But for him, he said, the connection, even in business, I think, when you really want to engage on the deal, what is the icebreaker? Connection. If I'm comfortable with you to do a deal, or to clarify a priority or a parameter about the deal we're doing, You need to feel comfortable with me. I need to feel comfortable with you. The only way we do it is not through a couple of words in an email. It's by me and you meeting, connecting, having that conversation. Maybe have a meal, maybe have a coffee, whatever. But that is fundamental. Once we're going to understand to go back again and really spending more time on connection, we'll be healthier. We will need less medication. We will need less and less and less of the confusion and spending more time with a free bottle of wine than the restaurant in Italy. Mind you, people are going to be more drunk, but that's okay. At least they're going to be happy.
They will be happy. Yeah. And so, we're very passionate about connection. It's why our business came together. It's one of the principles to the Mediterranean lifestyle that I found and we found is super, super important. And it brought us together to make sure to take priority in making sure that we're connected,
Right.
and why this business was all created. It's all around that. It's the Mediterranean lifestyle through food and travel.
That's right.
And that's what we've come up with here. So we get a little bit passionate. We could be talking for hours on this one, but we're gonna.
It's a sensitive subject, and it's an important subject, we think, because everything starts from there.
Yeah, and I wanted to say one thing about the Giovanni. Even though he's so busy in his day, almost every day he organizes a group of people to come over.
Yeah.
He'll cook a dinner, get everyone to cook. Sometimes he'll bring potluck. There's always that adventure and that fun that's created around there because he doesn't get stuck in that, oh, I'm too tired. Oh, I'm done. We only have so many days in our life and we got to make the moments count. So
simple things.
Thanks so much for joining us today. Come on over, email again, #1, YouTube, and Facebook group. We love you lots. Ciao for now. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.